So I'm really tired today, but I thought I'll do the video tonight. So this is my whole video from Manchester MegaCon. Really fun day. We really had a lovely day. We just took a time, had a relaxing day. We always like going on a Sunday better because it's never as manic. It was busy, very, very busy because it was the 5th year anniversary of this MegaCon. Um, what I will say, last year there's about 6 different some back issue sellers and also just standard comic shops like Traveling Man and Forbidden Planet, etc., who were there. This year there was just Forbidden Planet, um, Dynamite Distribution, and another a back issue seller who was really, really good. But in a way, I'm kind of pleased because it meant I did something what I wanted to do last year, but I didn't really have a chance because I just blew all my money on back issues, etc. I was able to look at the smaller independent creators, which I wanted to for the past few years. So I actually did get some independent stuff this time, which I'll show you. But first of all, I mentioned Dynamite. Is it no, not Dynamite, Diamond, sorry. Diamond Distribution, which is different to the American one. And they were basically selling figures, the McFarlane collection, Dynamic Forces and so on, but they were selling them at really, really reduced prices. These were brand new figures, but they were just, obviously, McFarlane's line is going to get discontinued soon. And they had some from his limited edition range, which normally go for 30 quid or upwards, £30 or upwards. They were selling them for £10 each. And one of them is one of my all-time favourite DC characters. I just love him. Not a big name at all, but I love the C and D list characters. And also another one of my favourite characters from the 1980s Superman comics. So I'll show you what I got. I'll show you those first. So first of all, we got Black Condor, which I did a whole video about a year ago, if not longer, where I got the full series of Black Condor. So really impressed with that. Can't wait to assemble it because he's got wings as well. So like I said, this just cost me £10. And then from the 1980s Superman titles, I got Gangbuster, again just for £10. So very happy with that. Comes with Hans and his billy clubs. So really happy with that. So those were the 2 figures that I got. I did go back later on because you know that thing where you err on the side of caution. And I should have got the third one as well because it was £10. I thought no, I'll come. It'll still be there when I come back. It was Laura Fleas, who I love, came back and it had gone. So those are the only figures I got. But I'll show you the loose issues what I got first. So like I mentioned, there's this really cool back issue seller, and he had some wonderful stuff. He had a whole raft of slab comics, which I've no interest in, but then he had some really, really... Geeky Hulk would have been in heaven looking at some of this guy's stuff. But he had some weird and wonderful Marvel ones, what I wanted, but I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, so I really had to restrain myself. You know, I'd rather get like the collected editions of classic stuff. But he had like full runs. He had the full Killraven run, the full Deathlock run, Tomb of Dracula, Weird World, and all these other cool stuff from Marvel from the 70s, which is like, for me, that is peak Marvel. 60s Marvel's good, but for me, peak Marvel is 70s Marvel. And he had a load of it, and oh my god! And he also had Weird War and Tales, Swamp Thing, and other good stuff like that from the 70s. But I just had to say no, because I could have really gone into debt and they were like full runs, but I thought, no, I just got some behave myself. But I did get some comics. So I did get this one. I got Clayface because I forgot about this when it was in the shops. I was umming and ahhing for too long and then it sold out. But I've heard good feedback from a lot of people. But then I got a miniseries that I've only seen 1 or 2 issues of before because it kind of passed me by. But it's by one of my favourite writer artists, which is Stan Sakai. came out a few years ago, and it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with Usagi Yojimbo, Dogu, and yeah, these were some issues before £4, some were £5, but he did me a deal because I got all five, got a full set, and he did me the full set of five for £20, so I was pleased with that. And so yeah, it's got one, two. Sorry, I was just from a comic, a bit funny then. Three. That's the Kevin Eastman cover. I know this is heresy, but I'm not the biggest Kevin Eastman fan, to be honest. I don't understand the appeal. Four. I do love it when the Turtles team up with Usagi Yojimbo. And then five, so that's the full set. And then I looked, like I said, at the independent creators section, the creators corner, whatever they call it, creator village. And I've seen this creator a few times have been for the past few years, and each time, like I said, I've just bought back issues because there's been more back issue sellers around. But because I was more limited this time, I thought this is kind of like fate telling me that I need to get their stuff. So and I looked through it and talked to them. She was a really lovely person. And she gave me the backstory of her series. I think there's about 12 books so far, but I got the first two. They were signed by her, which was really sweet. And so it's called Widdershins. This is book one by Kate Asquin. It's called Sleight of Hand. And it's in this like landscape format. And it says, for failed wizard Sidney Malik, it's been a rather trying day, threatened with eviction, expelled from university, arrested and accidentally crowned the king of thieves. He'll need more than a few magic tricks to get himself out of this. Luckily for him, he's attracted the attention of chain-smoking bounty hunter Harriet Barber, who'll either save him or get him into even deeper trouble, perhaps both. The first full story, set in 1830s Widdershins, an English town unlike any other. So I think this started as like a webtoon originally, but she's done like I said, the series of 12 books so far. The art I really, really like. It reminds me of I've forgotten the Giant Days artist, John Allison. But it's like an alternate reality Victoriana kind of mystery series with magic thrown in. Really, really pleased that I picked these up. So I got the first book, and like I said, she signed it. And then I got the second book, which is No Rest for the Wicked. Yeah, and I just love the cleanness of her artwork, and the colouring's really good as well. So what I will be doing, I will read those, and then I'll do a review of them, and go into some more details about Widdershins and where you can order from, because she gave me like a pamphlet as well with all that information on. So that was the creator village that I went to, but of course I had to get some graphic novels because I'm addicted to them. So where I got my Turtles from, he was basically he wasn't daft. He put all the hot comics and collections for sale. So he had a whole ton of absolute titles, had loads of files, like I said, loads of slabs. But he had He had all the full range of the Invincible collections on the back wall. So I'm up to date. The next one is coming in September. So I got 15 and 16. These normally retail for £13.99. But he said £10 each. So I've got the latest ones for £10 each. So I'm pleased about that. And then I went to Forbidden Planet's stall, which was quite funny. He greeted me with, "What are you doing here?" And of course, what I like about My Forbidden Planet, they could have done what a lot of comic book sellers do when they go to a con, where they get rid of all the offers that they have in the shop, but they kept the offers on what they have in the shop, so it's still 3 for 2 across all graphic novels and manga. So I've always been intrigued by this one, so I picked, and it's the Panini one, so it's really high quality. The Books of Doom by Ed Brubaker and Pablo Raimondi. So this is the origin of Doctor Doom. And because it's Panini, it's better quality than Marvel. It's a thicker paper stock. Printing's a lot more luxurious. Really sturdy cardstock cover, so you don't get any damage to it. And I also got a book I've wanted for years by Jean Lun Yang and Guru Hairu on artwork. Superman Smashes the Klan. This has become a modern day classic, and I think this is very relevant for today, especially with the sad and tragic rise of right wing movements now in America, in the UK, and across the world, basically, and we need to fight against it. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This looks really charming at the same time, this being a very important message. And then finally, I got Cyberpunk Edgerunner's Madness. This is the manga tie-in to the anime and the game, of course. I've been waiting for this to come out for ages, so as soon as I saw this on the stand, I had to pick up. I love the art, really clean, really futuristic. Got a nice Ghost in the Shell kind of vibe to it. And yeah, I'll be diving into that soon. So again, another quite sizable haul. I didn't go to, like I said, I could have gone really crazy. There was an artist there who she is the artist for that DC Elseworlds series, Immortal Batman. It was like if Batman was like merged with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And she's a gorgeous artist, really talented artist. And she's doing sketches, but it's like, do I want to pay 50 quid, £50 for a sketch? That was like just for a small like A5 sketch. Or do I want to buy books? Books won out. I might regret it, but I don't want to go down that rabbit hole as well with collecting art. I'd rather stick to one thing that I can afford. Because if I stick to one thing as well, it means I can get more of it. Whereas if I bought that sketch, it'd have cut what I wanted to spend in half today. So I'm happy with what I got. So I got these, I got that, and got those, and these, which I'm really pleased about. I think that's not a bad little haul. Nice little mountain. So yeah. So like I said, hopefully I'm hoping to read the Widdershins books this week, so I can do a review of them. I'd really like to just give them a push and try and get her work out to a wider market, because I think she's really talented and it looks very intriguing. Like I said, I think there's 12 books in the series so far. So I hope you enjoyed that. Sorry if I'm sounding really, I'm exhausted. It's very tiring. But we've had a wonderful day, and my daughter was happy because one of her, this is by the by, one of her favourite series when she was younger was Phineas and Ferb, and the two main voice actors from Phineas and Ferb were there, and they were going through the backstory and what they did. And it was fascinating, really good interview. But one of them was also the main character voice for Ramna, Ramna and a Half, which is one of my favourite anime. So we're both really happy with that. So that's it. I must post some more videos during the week. I will be doing a review video of Terminal because I have read it, and yeah, I'll let you know what I thought. Okay, bye.